Welcome to our new video. In this video we are going to talk about Vivo V25 5G. So without wasting any time, let's get started. This is the Vivo V25 5G. Presently the Vivo V23 series were some splendid spending plan phones that truly punched well over their weight when it camera E to the camera tech, and despite the fact that they were just sent off brief time frame prior, we as of now have their victories. It's not the V24, however Vivo has to some degree confounding these jumps directly to the V25 series, probably due to the number 4 is misfortune tricks, and this here Vivo V25 5G offers a couple of updates over the more seasoned V23, including a greater battery, some new camera highlights, and an out-of-control variety evolving plan. So presently, how about we look at the phone? So I have the Vivo V25 5G all set up, good to go, and you can see there it is a stout weed chap. The V25 master model is really bended, yet the customary Vivo V25 detects a more rakish wrap-up, including that iPhone-style level motor, and this kind of plan appears to be insane famous among the kind of financial plan to mid-range Android phones in 2022. We've seen some Xiaomi telephones like this. The Nothing phone obviously was a major thick morpho, and it is just a 6.44-inch show on the Vivo V25, so not the greatest around, yet you truly do have genuinely thick bezels encompassing that screen that adds a decent piece of bigness on, and nearly Jimmy Hill-esque jawline down underneath and afterward in the event that we flip it over. The stockpile is developed from fluorite ag glass. It's strong stuff, so ideally you shouldn't scratch up over the long haul, and as you can see they have an exquisite matte completion too to assist with concealing fingerprints and other grime. This here is the greenish blue model, exceptionally splendid and wonderful and striking and dynamic, totally revere it, yet that backside truly changes tone when UV light strikes it, very much like the genuine Mi 9 Star. In addition to presently, we should investigate the product, and what you have here on the Vivo V25 is the most recent tomfoolery Contact OS 12 slapped on top of Android 12. Fortunately, this doesn't actually play a lot with the Android UI experience. You've actually got your Google Find channel there. We should not discuss Sunderland Match. You have your applications plate to store away each of your treats. You can haul down the notices bar from any place on screen. This adds in a considerable amount of personalization choices too. So for example, go to dynamic impacts and you can pedal about, including the unique finger impression symbol liveliness to the facial acknowledgement movements, the charging liveliness, basically everything in tomfoolery Contact additionally includes some respectable signal help, like a devoted 1 GAV mode, very valuable as it's a stout old cell phone, this and a lot of other extra pieces, remembering a committed gaming mode which will bang for about a digit. Concerning your capacity, you have a decision of 128 or 256 gigabytes of space for the Vivo V25. As you can see, this is the 256 gigabytes model, 22 gigabytes utilized by the framework, so not terrible by any stretch of the imagination. A lot of extra space to go, yet the uplifting news is you don't have to move up to that 256 gigabytes model, since you truly do really have space in that two-fold-sided SIM plate for a miniature SD memory card. Presently, the Vivo V25 5 grams gains fundamentally a similar presentation tech as the more seasoned V23 model. We're talking a 6.44-inch AMOLED screen with full HD in addition to gold. Like most AMOLED shows on current phones, it's a flat-out saltine. You have a clear line of sight on this thing, full HDR10 or more streaming help, as well as you have HDR support in any semblance of Netflix. Seeing points are pretty much as wide as you like, and, surprisingly, you really do truly get an old-fashioned areola score up top, lodging that selfie camera which encroaches a smidgen on the activity when you go full screen for, you know, your Netflix motion pictures, your games, whatever else, yet it's not exactly as fat and meddlesome as the one on the V23 with its twofold selfie camera activity. Head to the showcase. You can knock it up to the most extreme 90Hz revive full time, assuming you like. Unfortunately, no sound system speakers set up here on the Vivo V25. It's simply a solitary model speaker housed here on this base level edge. When you hurl it up to the maximum 557 volume, that engine speaker is still rather calm, so not especially great if 601 you live in a boisterous family you're wanting to utilize that to observe some video with heaps of foundation. Continuing, in spite of the fact that essentially it's not excessively metallic, it's a disgrace you don't get a 3.5mm earphone jack, which I was truly expecting once I seen those headphones in the case. Still exceptionally quite arbitrary. However, you really do have Bluetooth 5.2 help, and the streaming appears to be totally fine to speakers and earphones. Now, one region that is marginally disturbing on the Vivo V25 5 grams is the exhibition, and this isn't to imply that the presentation is terrible using any and all means, yet it has been minimized since the past model. You see the Vivo V23 upheld the MediaTek Dimensity 920 chipset, though here on the Vivo V25 it's the customary 900. This is the equivalent chipset that was found in the OnePlus Nord CE 25 grams and the Oppo F5x5 Lite, and it's supported here on the Vivo by one or the other 8 or 12 gigabytes of SLAM. This is the 8 gigabytes model. Not exactly exciting benchmark scores there. Each day running is total Fine, you'll see a periodic little stagger to a great extent, yet nothing emotional. Applications truly do shut down rapidly behind the scenes, those you will be continually seeing stacking screens while things boot up. Fortunately, the Vivo V25 5 grams is still totally fine for all of your gaming tricks. Any semblance of extraordinary mission at hand portable and PUBG won't uphold the higher design settings, yet even on the kind of medium levels they play it extremely easily. To be sure, the screen is completely responsive, so even I with my CAC gave capacities at not having the option to shoot in the correct course and all that actually figured out how to get a couple of kills on the scoresheet, and, surprisingly, the memory crunch and Genshin influence figured out how to play with a sensibly smooth edge rate on unquestionably the most minimal detail settings. You realize you will see a periodic little jetta to a great extent, again not the very silkiest, smoothest experience on the planet, yet it is playable now. Likewise with all tomfoolery contact gadgets, you truly do have a devoted gaming mode you can yank out anytime, like so. It's far-reaching stuff. You have the different presentation modes that you can mess with, including a battery 808 saver mode if you have any desire to expand your ongoing interaction meeting. In any case, help assuming you're playing something requesting like Genshin influence, you can hinder notices and calls a wide range of stuff, and keeping in mind that the exhibition has made a stride down from the Vivo V23. Fortunately, the equivalent isn't valid for the battery tech. You have a greater limit cell packed within this ravishing blue undercarriage, not the greatest battery limit you'll find at this price tag using any and all means, yet that will be all that anyone could need to see through a full serious day with loads of screen on time, something certainly helped along by the energy effectiveness of that MediaTek chipset. And when you really do have to juice it back up again, we have 44-watt wired charging support, same as the V23. In any case, there's no remote charging support here, so we should wrap up this Vivo V25 unpacking with a squint at the camera tech. And we arrived is a 64 megapixel essential sensor with worked-in optical picture adjustment. It's not the equivalent Samsung GW1 sensor as found in the V25 Genius model, yet is still horrendous great at catching regular pictures and blood and gore flicks like the V23. Before you can fundamentally simple to use and expect gorgeous outcomes around 8 or by far most of the time with negligible idea behind it. So in that manner it's like the Pixel cell phones I thought my photographs had a characteristic energy truly like the representation results. Again, it neatly catches your subject and you can mess with a wide range of bokeh styles assuming you like, and, surprisingly, in low light situations too. Again, not a lot of clamor, sneaking in genuinely normal looking tones, so generally speaking extraordinary stuff, and afterward nothing especially exciting. Taking everything into account, you got a similar essential 8 megapixel ultra wide point shooter as that star model, and furthermore a Marsh standard fundamental 2 megapixel large scale snapper for your video needs. You can shoot up to 4K gold film at 30 edges each second. However, if you have any desire to shoot at 60 fps, it gets consequently knocked down to full HD resolution. In the event that you flip around to that selfie shooter, it's a 50 megapixel exertion, same as the V23, so I ought to catch your mug in heaps of detail, considerably a lot of detail presumably. And you could likewise shoot up to 4K gold film utilizing that forward-looking 50 meg selfie camera, again finishing off at 30 edges each second. Recall again to switch off the decorate bollocks, since, supposing that you don't, you'll 1052 have totally colossal anime style eyes and it'll be horrendous bizarre gracious. And there's likewise a video blog mode which fundamentally shoots little clasps of you doing stuff and afterward puts a ton of irritating unsavory music over the top. Thus there you have it, my lovelies. That more or less is the new Vivo V25 5 grams, and somewhat of a disgrace. It's a stage in reverse as far as the genuine all that you wanted to even a decent piece of light gaming and a piece against you at a flat-out stretch. The battery duration is fabulous. That camera tech is shockingly great again at this kind of price tag. If you liked the video, give the big thumbs up and hit the subscribe button for new videos. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.